Hello guys, um, it's your girl Avria. Where's the camera here? It's your girl Avria, and it's a bit like a podcast. So I am gonna read some of ebooks right now. Yes, indeed. So, well, not a bit ASMR, maybe just a mix of whispering or um, normal voice. Yes, indeed. So, paano ba to? Let me just. So I'm just gonna read an ebooks, and the ebooks that I am gonna read is Gaslighting. So, okay, start time. Why I got. Let me just drink some water because it's so hot. Wait, guys. Wait. So today I'm just gonna do reading an ebooks, and it's like a bit of a podcast. Yes, indeed. So I just become interested with getting to know more informations about this gaslighting, because like some people are so manipulative, like especially narcissistic people. And there are times that I got the like once in a while I encountered some people that seems they are just manipulating you. Like if I sense that you are manipulating me, I will gonna run away as fast as I can, because I really hate manipulative people. Like I can do what you want me to do for you wholeheartedly. You just don't need to manipulate me or gaslight me. Like I want to do it in my free will. Like you don't have to manipulate me. Like if you do something good to me, of course in return I will be good and obedient, faithful. It's like a relationship with relationship with people, connection with people. It's like give and take. But manipulative people are tend to just get and get and get, like feel entitled to just receive without putting efforts, without doing you a favor in return or appreciates your effort. So and then they just feel entitled and expect that you will give them everything or anything they want without even putting an effort on their part. So and then they will just rely on their manipulative tactic, their narcissistic manipulative gaslighting techniques to get what you want from you and use you. So those are the type of people that I am trying to avoid. So I become more like I wanted to know more informations, like how to know if the people, although like I got some, I sense, there are times that I can sense like, okay, these people are just playing mind games and manipulating me. You know what, like I will do whatever that person want if he's just nicer to me, or at least if I see some efforts, why not? It takes two to tango. It's not only one-sided. But then again, these people, like, so if I can sense like they are just manipulating me to get something out of me, and then I put it like super big red flag to just run away from that person. And that's why like I'm interested to know more, how to have some red flag, how to know the red flag if that person is gaslighting me or manipulating me. So okay, so these are the ebooks. Gaslighting. So it looks like this. Gaslighting, 4 books in 1. So I will just, the topic is there, it's like 4 ebooks, and volume 1 is gaslighting, volume 2 is how to influence people, and I think I'm not although I'm curious about the rest, but I'm more, let's just read first the gaslighting volume. Alright, so gaslighting. So there's a long introductions, but I'm just gonna try to, try to find, because it will gonna take forever. Alright, so gaslighting. Okay, so introduction. Gaslighting occurs in personal relationship and professional relationships. In other cases, gaslighting is used by public figures to change the perceptions of targeted members of the population. Gaslighting is a form of psychological abuse. It can make you start to doubt your ability to perceive reality correctly. It can make you think you didn't see what you thought you saw, or heard what you thought you heard, and you start to wonder if you can trust the information you are getting from your 5 senses. Teka lang, masyadong madilim naman to. Ayun. Ilapit natin ang aking microphone. Yeah, this is my microphone because my camera seems doesn't. Okay, so it can make you start to doubt your ability to perceive reality correctly. Alright. It can make you think you didn't see what you thought you saw or heard, and you start to wonder. Okay, so moreover, this in turn will make you begin to think that there must be something wrong with you, and you will begin to doubt your sanity. It doesn't matter whether it is happening in a personal relationship, parents to child, between romantic partners, or a professional relationship, or at work, or even between members of the same community. Gaslighting creates an abusive situation which can cause serious problems if the victim continues to be in such a position for a long time. And no matter whether it occurs in a personal relationship or a working relationship between a public figure and the members of the public or somewhere else, it is essential to be aware of the signs that you or someone you know might be a victim of gaslighting, as this awareness is the first step to getting out of the damaging situation. The first step is to take towards being free from gaslighting is to recognize exactly what gaslighting is. It is often very hard to recognize the signs of gaslighting because they affect the mind so much that after a long period of time, the victim doesn't trust their own thoughts. This book discusses in detail how to distinguish gaslighting behavior from typical behavior by shedding light on the different kinds of gaslighting techniques. It also aims to provide you with information about what to do if you find yourself a victim of such a negative situation. Gaslighting, which will be defined fully in the okay, so this is like introduction. Okay, so gaslighting, narcissists are self-centered and arrogant. Okay, I rewind natin. Gaslighting, which will be defined fully in the following chapters, is a technique used by narcissists to manipulate people. Narcissists are self-centered and arrogant people who lack empathy for others. They live in their own world and believe they are unique and special. Hence, they always seek attention and praise from others. A narcissist will frequently use gaslighting, as a narcissist's goal is to disorient the victim to gain total control over them. A narcissist achieves this aim by gradually sowing seeds of doubts in the victim's mind, and in the end, the narcissist controls the victim to do their bidding. In addition to promoting awareness about gaslighting, this book is written with the more precise aim of exposing the extent to which narcissists use gaslighting as a means of manipulation to control and abuse their victims both physically and mentally. They expose towards narcissists say and the gaslight and the actions they take to abuse victims. It is one thing to recognize what gaslighting is, and it's another to know how narcissists use it. It is also a different thing entirely to uncover the effects of gaslighting and guard against them, or better still, avoid the effects in the first place. Most importantly, they show you how to protect yourself and even remove yourself from the control of a gaslighting narcissist. No. Okay. Ano ba itong 79? Chapter 1, Gaslighting. Gaslighting is the endeavor of someone else to wane your reality. Narcissists can't and don't assume liability for their conduct. Rather, they look to disgrace and accuse others of evading the awful feelings. This is once in a while referred to as projection. The problem is, gaslighting is slippery. It plays on our most exceedingly awful feelings of dread, our most restless musing, and our most profound wishes to be comprehended, acknowledged, and loved. At the point when somebody we trust, regard, or love talks with incredible conviction, especially if there's a trace of legitimacy in his words, or if he's hit on one of our red buttons, our deep secrets, our desire, it tends to be difficult not to trust him. Furthermore, when we glorify the deceiver, when we need to consider him to be the love of our life, a commendable boss, or a brilliant parent, then we make it more difficult to adhere to our sense of reality. Our deceiver should be correct. We have to win his endorsement. Thus, The gaslighting goes on. Neither of you might know about what's truly occurring. The gaslighter may truly accept each words he lets you know or genuinely feel that he's just inspiring you from yourself. Keep in mind, his own needs are driving him. Your deceiver may appear to be a solid, influential man, or he may have all the earmarks of being an unreliable. Fits of rage-tossing young men. In any case, you feel frail and feeble. To feel groundbreaking and safe, he needs to demonstrate that he is correct, and he needs to get you to concur with him. Then, you have admired your deceiver and are edgy for his endorsement. Although you may not intentionally understand this. But if there's even a little bit of you that believes you're a bad enough without anyone else, even if a little piece of you believes you need your gaslighter's love or endorsement to be fulfilled, at that point, you are powerless to gaslight. Okay. Paano ba to? Alright, what's more a deceiver will exploit? What's more, a deceiver will exploit that helplessness to make you question yourself again and again. Gaslighting defies boundaries. When somebody is gaslighting you, they are trying to convince you that your boundaries and perceptions are ridiculous and invalid. If something they say bothers you because it is abusive or untrue, they will tell you that you are overreacting or that what you are saying is stupid. They will tell you that it doesn't bother anybody else except you and that you're just being overly sensitive. Even spiritual people are not immune from this, because you might be told that their behavior wouldn't bother you if you were more enlightened. So, in essence, gaslighting and manipulation techniques make you doubt your boundaries or make you drop your boundaries altogether by convincing you that your boundaries are stupid and invalid. The truth is, your boundaries aren't anybody's business but yours. Nobody gets to determine what boundaries you will have. If something bothers you, then nobody gets to tell you how you feel. When you enforce a boundary, you are not only fighting for the boundary itself, but more importantly, for your right to set boundaries in the first place. Don't let another person convince you that your boundary isn't big enough for you to take a stand over. It is. Such a way of thinking is really disrespectful. It is very disrespectful and dishonoring to stand on somebody else's boundary. There is a difference between controlling somebody else by telling them how to behave and setting a boundary by which you are telling the person not to behave a certain way to you. Reinforcing a boundary means that you are going to have a walk away from someone or from something when they do something wrong to you. Now, realize that it's not about stopping someone from living their life the way they want to live their life, nor is taking their freedom away from them. It's simply about choosing to engage with or not engage with people who behave in a certain way or who don't respect their boundaries. Okay, it's another sign again, red flag, gaslighting technique. Setting up an angry beast mode. Okay, they're in the beast mode, like, yeah, like in the war or something, like you triggered them and they're in the beast mode. Okay, the second form of manipulation is to become an angry beast. This is where somebody tries to become angrier than you when you get angry with them in order to squash your challenge or rebellion. You might even be just mildly annoyed about something and want to talk to your partner about it, but they explode at you so that you find yourself backing down. You will be so shocked because you were talking about something which was relatively small and they just turned it into something huge. You will want to back down and not deal with that type of drama. Often you will be trying to defend your boundaries, and that is what caused the explosion. These angry beasts will come at you with an emotional response that is way out of proportion to the situation or the position that you're trying to defend. You will back down, and oftentimes you won't even try to stand up for yourself again because you're absolutely not willing to go up against that angry beast. The deceiver is counting on that. But when you are defending a proper boundary or setting a boundary, it doesn't really matter what that boundary is all about, nor does it really matter whether that person sees it as valid or not. Once you have clearly communicated a boundary and the other person says that he will not accept it, you must follow through on the consequences or you will be intimidated into silence and submission. That is what angry beast wants. Another red flag or signs that a person is gaslighting you is hijacking the issue. The next manipulative technique is hijacking the issue. This happens when you raise a topic that challenges someone and he takes it off on a tangent to distract you so that you will not set the boundary or defend that boundary. For example, let's say it's late at night and your spouse hasn't come home from work. They haven't called and you are really worried because you have no idea where they are, if something has happened to them. They finally come home and you confront them with how worried you were and ask them where they were and why they didn't even call you or let you know that they would be late. Rather than answer your concern in question, they go off on a tangent about how stressed they are at work and how you're not just getting it. They may start to get angry and accuse you of having no sympathy for them. You then find yourself on the defensive side of the conversation and even apologize to them. Now, you're no longer talking about the original topic. That is, how late they were and why they didn't call. But talking about them and what's bothering them. In the end, they will avoid answering the question altogether. They have hijacked the conversation and torn it in a different direction. You will often find yourself sitting them down and apologizing to them and feeling like you shouldn't bother them with your little concern. People who use these manipulation tactics are not doing so in a conscious way. They're not doing this on purpose. So they are not hijacking a conversation on purpose, but they are doing it nonetheless. They don't intend to work up to being an angry beast or trample on your boundaries, but they do. They do it to control and manipulate you in always putting them first. Let's just check the sound. I feel the touch begin the pouring rain, and the moment that you wander far from me. Alright, so chapter 2. We are now on chapter 2. So these are all gaslighting. Chapter 2, understanding the ins and outs of gaslighting. So, understanding. In 1944, a movie called Gaslight was released that changed the way people thought about manipulation and its immense power. This movie shows the story of a husband character that manipulates his wife and her life to such an extent that she begins to believe that she has become insane. In this movie too, just like in my life, the author of this ebook, Paula gets completely caught up with the charms of Gregory, the man who woos and wins her. After a whirlwind romance, they get married, and then the tragedy begins. Gregory begins to show his true personality, so subtle that Paula begins to think that everything is alright with her husband and that she is going crazy. The husband in the film dimmed the gaslights in the house and insisted that the wife imagine the light was dim. His insistence and manipulations were so powerful that the poor, helpless woman begins to think that she is going crazy. And so, the name gaslighting came to be used for such devious and evil manipulative tactics to deliberately steer people away from their real lives and life's experiences. The movie itself is based on 1938's play of the same name. The ultimate aim of the villainous husband was, of course, to drive his wife to insanity so that he could put her away in mental institution and claim her inheritance. Gaslighting is the name used by psychologists to refer to the tactics used by people with personality disorder to control and manipulate the lives of other people, either individuals or a group of people. These tactics are so strong and go so deep that the manipulative people tend to doubt and question everything. Manipulated people tend to doubt and question everything in their own lives, the reality, perceptions, feelings, experiences, and interpretations of these experiences. If someone can have this kind of maniacal control over your life, then there's a little doubt your life and sanity are in danger. At this juncture, it is important to differentiate gaslighting from those tactics that many people use to annoy and irritate the people around them. Gaslighting tactics have a dark quality that annoying but innocuous behavior of certain people doesn't have. It is imperative that you clearly differentiate between the two so that you don't end up judging everyone you came across wrongly. But you must know for certain that gaslighting is a very serious problem. And you must learn to discern such behavior and stay away from such people as possible. After all, having your reality taken from you can be quite dangerous, and if not managed sensibly, can prove disastrous for you and your loved ones. The difficult thing about understanding gaslighting is that the behavioral signs might start out as something very small and insignificant. For example, the manipulator could correct a small detail in a story or life experience you are narrating. Wait, let's put my Alright, so let's put this actually so I will look smart and alright, so this is the podcast. Alright, so this is about the signs to look out for manipulative gaslighting people. So if these are the when this gaslighting terms came. Alright, so here the gaslighting. Alright, so it's from the movie. Alright, and deliberately, you will be pushed to such an extent by taking simple daily decisions might become difficult for you. Driven by the seeds of self-doubts, so yun. I hope hindi mo na mag-ingay, please. Sounds so good. Okay, so that it's from the movie, and then deliberately you will push to such an extent that taking simple daily decisions might become difficult for you. Driven by the seeds of self-doubts, soothed by the deceiver, you can find yourself second-guessing every decision you make. Like I already told you in the introduction chapter, even the clothes I wore become my husband's decision. So this is the writer of this ebook. At some point, the victim is likely to feel that he or she cannot take any decisions whatsoever and depends on every little thing on the manipulator. Furthermore, the aggressor okay, so furthermore, the aggressor will slowly convince you that his or her behavior is also your fault. The more you apologize for your behavior, the greater the aggressor's ego becomes. and the person demands an increasing level of apology and supplicating behavior from you. The aggressor gets so deep into his or her gaslighting attitudes that you will find it exceedingly difficult to reach out and seek help from other people in the fear that they will go against your aggressor. When you are completely and irrevocably under the aggressor's control, then the person dumps you and seeks new conquests. You. Alright, so okay, there's some noise outside. I don't know what that is. So let's have some topic about gaslighting. So okay, so this is the history of gaslighting. Okay, it's originated from the movie. So yeah, the husband trying to manipulate the wife by like trying to make her senses like she's smelling something, but it's just like making her question her sanity, makes like she feel crazy. Like, I smell some gas. Like, no, there's no gas. Are you crazy? There's no gas, honey. But yeah, he set up some gasoline, and then like the wife like, oh, the light is dim. No, honey, it's not dim. It's so bright. Gaslighting. All right, so why does gaslighting happen? Simply put, gaslighting is all about having control. So yeah, so it's about having control. To those narcissistic people, they want to control you, so you always have to doubt yourself, your intelligence, your decisions. So you always have to rely on them, and they can control your reality. So you always have to see them as the savior. Okay, I got receipt from PayPal. Hopefully they return my money because they steal my money. Yeah, it's $300. No, yeah, $300. It's a lot, right? So anyway, okay, let's drink some water. Yeah. Okay, so why does gaslighting happen? Okay, so it's just to control. Gaslighting behavior is usually seen between people involved in power dynamics where one person invariably wields more power than the other person, or people in the relationship equation. The victim of gaslighting tactic is typically on a lower rung than the manipulator and also terrified of losing something in the relationship. The target of the manipulative relationship is likely to have a codependent partner in the relationship. For example, in a romantic relationship, in a romantic relationship, the wife might feel the compulsion to put up with manipulative behavior because she wants to be in the relationship or desires the other things that it brings. Such people are ready to change their perceptions to align with those of the manipulative partner as to avoid conflicts and to allow things to happen smoothly. Sobrang init, my God. Right. On the other hand, the manipulator continues to be one because he or she is scared of being seen as something less important or significant than desired. Ano natin ito? Masyado kasi mainit ang aking kwarto. Okay. Another critical perspective of the deceiver is that the person may not realize that he or she is behaving in ways that could harm or hurt the target. They could be indulging in gaslighting tactics simply because they were rare like that. For example, if a person was brought up by parents who believe in the concept of absolute certainty, then this person may not know that other perspectives can exist and that they can be right. Such people could be primed to think that anyone who has a different approach or perspective is wrong. Further, they could believe that people with these wrong notions should be corrected, and thus resorts to gaslighting tactics, an approach found commonly in a family and among loved ones. And then, there are the ones who employ gaslighting to show off their dominance and power, with little or no care toward the pain and agony inflicted on the target. Sometimes, the dominance and power could also be a facade for the manipulator's insecurities and fears. Whatever it is, gaslighting is employed to dominate unfairly over other people. So where does gaslighting happen? Gaslighting can happen and be experienced by anyone and everyone. For example, you could be a victim of such tactics from your spouse, partner, colleague, or sometimes even a parent. In fact, gaslighting tactics are not restricted for the personal or professional realm. Gaslighting strategies are used even in public life, affecting an entire group of people. There are multiple instances in which you can clearly see gaslighting techniques. Okay, so it's like politics. I don't want to add some politics. Yeah, it's starting. Okay, so let's just other things. So where is gaslighting typically seen? Geographically speaking, gaslighting behavior is not exclusive to any part of the world. Wherever power dynamics are in play and where the needs and desire for control over people and resource exists, gaslighting behavior can be witnessed. Multiple studies reveal that this kind of unpleasant and dangerous behavior is prevalent not only in personal relationships, but also at the workplace and even in public life, as in the way some politicians there again, yeah, politicians, they are very the master manipulator. They make us, because you know it's about power dynamics. They want the control over you, you know, like politicians. They want you to trust them 100%. They are just gaslighting us with these laws and different kinds of, you know, to follow them without even thinking on our own, you know, like they are the authoritative, but the authority, and we shouldn't question their decisions. That's how gaslighting work. You know, this manipulator, they just want us to trust them blind with, you know, blindfoldedly like blindly, without thinking, without asking. It's just follow, obey. So that's how it goes. Ay, ito na naman. Nasira na naman ang king. Ay. Video. Another video. Another. Okay. So, I don't. Okay, so there's like okay, so at work, okay, people like taking credits for your work, mocking your behavior or dress style in front of others, you know, sabotaging you, setting unreasonable and unrealistic deadlines, deliberately withholding information that is crucial for the success of project you are working on. So yeah, also in the workplace, there are people that will sabotage you, and so you will not, you know, to control your progress, so you'll always be on the bottom, kissing their ass or something like that. So most of the elements mentioned above are seemingly insignificant, but add up to a lot in retrospect. And moreover, unlike bullying, which is easily discernible, gaslighting behaviors are subtle, and are meant to slowly but surely put doubts on your capabilities and value to the organization. Such attitudes cannot be caught until after the damage is done to the target psyche. So like slowly poisoning, you know, in a toxic workplace, there's like snakes and whistle, you know, they say like keep your friends closer but keep your enemies closer, and then they will just put some, have their agenda, hidden agenda, sabotage you, you know, pretend that they are your friends, that they are your allies, but behind your back they have their hidden agenda, whatever it is, you know, maybe planting some, it's just small like seeds, you know, trying to like very low-key hinting something, and then it, you know, like subliminally, like maybe some remarks like, oh my god, yeah, just like the backhanded compliments. It's something like that, like they will not gonna, you know, say it rudely, but like, oh my god, look at your dress, it's so beautiful, but if you're a bit, you know, in this size, you will look more beautiful than that, but your dress is more beautiful, but you know, something in this area sometimes, but it's beautiful. That's freaking backhanded compliment. Okay, so here are some common examples of gaslighting scenarios that could help you understand if and when you are being gaslighted by various perpetrators. Okay, so at home environment. Okay, so these like scenarios. Alice's father, Andrew, is a bitter and angry man who is carrying a lot of negativity right from his childhood. His power play is most evident with Alice, the daughter, thanks to her dependence on him for a lot of things. Alice's mother is the breadwinner in the family, and it's away most of the times for work. At work, Alice spends a lot of time with her father than her mother, and had unwittingly built herself into a codependency situation with Andrew. She was highly sensitive to his mood swing and is always worried that some actions or behaviors of hers would bring on a dark mood in her father. Whenever her father was in a dark mood, he would lash out at Alice by saying that, "You're worthless. I wonder why you were born," and quite frequently using foul languages too. If Alice tried to argue back with him, he would laugh it off and say, "Why are you unnecessarily sensitive?" Alice had become so accustomed to these situations at home that she did not even think it is important enough to speak to her mother about it. Was too busy. Her mother was always busy with her work to find time for her daughter. Alice was... Oh, yeah, So, here we go. Alice, okay, so just like father-daughter dynamics, father is always moody, and then Alice was always like walking on an eggshell, with that kind of dynamic, and you have to always be careful. So the daddy will not, his father will not always be in a bad mood, or he will gonna be more critical towards her, or neglected, disregard her emotions or her feelings. So Alice had become so accustomed to these situations at home that she did not even think it's important enough to speak to her mother about it. Was too busy with her work to find time for her daughter. Alice was completely under her father's control and even accepted it as natural. She believed that her father was only helping her towards self-improvement and that there was nothing wrong with him. Another common situation is when adult children manipulate their old parents. Here is a sample case that you are likely to find in many homes. Alright, so in a romantic relationship, in the eyes of most people, Julie's life could be, so this like relationship now scenario, where the gaslighting happened. In a romantic relationship, another example, in the eyes of the most people, Julie's life could be seen as being ideal. Married for over 5 years to her first love, who is now an adoring husband, financially secure. Her husband, John, is an investment banker who rakes in the money. And with 2 beautiful children, Julie might look like there's no dearth of happiness in her life. And yet she knows what she is going through. Before her marriage, Julie was an artist with some great skills. After she got married, so before her marriage, Julie was an artist with some great skills. After she got married, John did his best to prevent his wife from trying to advance her skill and make a name for herself in the arts world. He always found faults with her work and made her feel worthless. Every time she tried to paint something, he would say, "A lousy artist like you is not going to make it in the arts world, which is filled with brilliant artists. Your work will never match up to theirs." Don't waste your time and money on this. Instead, just focus on looking after the family. Also, he would always bring up a bad experience that she had had during her early days, artist days. She had created a painting. Okay, so just focus. There's a lot of noise, but focus, 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 focus on me. Okay, so focus. There's a lot of background noise, but focus. So after she got married, okay, so also he would always bring up a bad experience that she had had during her early artist days. She had created a painting and wanted feedback from a famous artist who was a good friend of her husband. The man had said that her skills were way below even an average artist and that she should not even try moving forward. Julie's husband never failed to bring up that comment and use it to make her believe that she was fit for nothing more than taking care of the family. Julie's husband used that one bad experience and feedback to remind her of her worthlessness continually, and repeated practice and such habitual behavior enslaved her to her husband completely. Now, although she lives comfortably, she realizes that her life is actually empty. She wants to break free from her husband's manipulative way, but he uses their children to strengthen his power over her. In a workplace, okay, so this is now in the workplace scenario. Julie was a sales girl in large cosmetic showroom. After working for 5 years, she was given a promotion to work in, which not only gave her a higher salary, but also opened up career growth prospects. Julie was very happy with the promotion and started working with her new boss, Penny. Initially, Julie found Penny helpful and sweet. Slowly, Penny started passing on insignificant tasks to Julie, who did them uncomplainingly. However, this did not stop at all, and in fact, increased so much that she had no time and energy to learn anything new at the job. She was about able to finish all the work assigned by her boss, who keep her at arm's length and discourage interactions of all kinds except with giving out tasks. A department meeting was called one day and Julie was part of it. Penny addressed the other people and said, "Meet Julie, who has been with us for nearly 3 months now, and she has yet to learn the ropes of the new department. I hope she catches up soon, or else we might have to send her back after demoting her." Julie turned red with embarrassment and shame at this open and unexpected insult from her boss, and she realized that she had unwittingly become a victim of gaslighting tactics. Okay, so emotional hotspots that are targeted. Nearly anyone can be a target to gaslighting tactics, considering the subtlety involved in the process. Very few people can really discern the difference between gaslighting and simple annoying behavior. Most often, people will tend to categorize gaslighting behaviors as a mere annoyance and tend to ignore it. Yet, there are certain types of people who become easy targets for gaslighting. Some of them are some of them are how to pronounce it? Empathy. Empaths. Okay. Ano ba naman to? Empaths. Empaths are people who are extremely sensitive to everything that is happening around them. They can quickly and most often unwittingly absorb both positive and negative energies from their environment. Such people can be easy targets for deceivers because it is quite easy to influence them. Just sending negative vibes to empaths vibes to empath can enhance their sensitivity to a deceiver's needs. Another target of gaslighting manipulative people are the insecure people. Insecure people. Deceivers typically target people with significant inferiority complex. Men and women who feel insecure about themselves are easy targets, considering that they are already in a vulnerable conditions. Moreover, insecure people are continuously looking for positive affirmations from others, which is exactly what deceivers want in the initial stage of any new. Gaslighting tactics can start with heaping praise, often when it's not necessary, and praises on the victims initially, and once they are trapped, the true colors of deceivers come to the fore. And yet, it is time to reiterate that some deceivers are so good at what they do that even the sanest and most sensible people can become their targets. Therefore, it makes sense to be aware of the concepts of gaslighting tactics and their manipulative negative effects, and to be wary of such people. Chapter 3.